Hey, it's David here from Block Whisperers, back with you again with another little mini game that we've made with command blocks. This time it is Birdhunt. This was kind of inspired by the old Nintendo game Duck Hunt, and a little bit of that and a little bit of clay pigeon shooting and stuff like that, so all rolled up into a little mini game that we've made. So the idea is you stand inside of there, you press the button to make the bird appear out of one of these green traps. You then try and shoot the bird with your shotgun, and you see how many points you can get, you see how many hits you can get, kills. So first thing I'm going to do is show you how to play the game. We're going to have a good game of this, and then what I'll do is I'll show you how it works. I'm going to go down into the lobby, and I'm going to clear my inventory first because I've got loads of junk in my inventory. Okay, and stand on the emerald and press the button below to start. Let's go. Here we are, we're in. We see we've been given 64 shotgun shells. Okay, let's get ready to play. So what we need to do is press any of the buttons on the floor to pull. You get 20 shots. Once you pull for the 21st time, the game will end. So let's go. We have to stand on this wooden part here. Here we go. And we look round. Where's the bird? Where's the bird? Gonna shoot it. Oh, missed. You'll notice that it randomly flies, and the longer you take to try and shoot it, the lower your chances are going to be of hitting. And I am doing absolutely terrible here. Come on. Oh, what? Oh no. Come on. No. Oh, there you go, hit. Yay. So I've fired 16 shots. I've released 4 birds so far. You get to release 20. And I've got 1 kill. So let's go. Here we go. So they fly about quite randomly, so they're quite difficult to hit. Some easier than others, like this one should be hopefully quite easy. There you go. Boom. Come on. Oh, yes. So that's 4 birds out of 7 releases. Oh, I missed it. Yes. I'm on a roll. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, the further it gets away, the harder it gets, and then it will just disappear. Yes. It's quite a realistic shotgun sound, I find. Oh, it's really, when you do get a really far away kill, it's quite satisfying. Yes. Yes. Come on. 8 kills from 13 shots. I don't think I've done this good yet. That's it. Once it starts to get that far away, it's really difficult. Yes! There you go. That was a nice far away kill. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Yes. Oh, I'm doing amazing. 10 from 16. A bit of lag, bit of lag. Oh, you get a bit of lag sometimes. Oh, I missed. I've just realised I'm on creative mode, so I should only have 64 shots for this. Because I'm on creative, it hasn't. The snowballs haven't gone down, or the shotgun shells. There you go. So I've released 20 birds, I've got 11 kills, fired 62 shots. So if I press this again now, the game will end. And I'll go back to the lobby, and there you go, 7 Sigma, finish the round with 11 kills. So that's the game. It's really simple, you can play again. It's multiplayer friendly, so if you're in a game or somebody's in a game and you try and go into the lobby, it will just TP you out of the lobby and tell you that there's a game in progress and you need to wait. So it's multiplayer friendly, which is good. So I think the next thing we'll do is show you how it all works. Okay guys, here we go. Let's see how this thing works. Here is my little command block area underneath the shooting range there. So here's the lobby, just under here, and I'll link to this world save and schematic as well, so you guys can just download it and play it yourselves. So first thing I need to do is show you the armor stands, because there's quite a lot of armor stands in here. So if I just press that so you can see them all, here we go. I'll show you the anti-griefing measures I've put in place here to, if people are on survival, it stop them breaking blocks and jumping over into things and all that good stuff. So the first block is I'm putting everybody in game mode 2 that's in survival within a 30 block radius, so they can't wreck the place. And then once they're outside of a 30 block radius, I'm putting anyone in adventure mode back to survival. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, you'll notice I've got quite a few armor stands knocking around. I've got one called switch there. I've got these, they're all called random fly, and I'll explain that in a moment. And let's have a look. I've got an armor stand called lobby, and I've also got armor stands called trap, and I've got an armor stand called shooter. So there's quite a few armor stands here that once the name gets removed, or once the name goes invisible, you can't really tell. I've got a long chain of repeating commands here, some conditional, some not. All these impulse blocks here are just to spawn the armor stands. I've left these in here in case they get killed or anything. So that's just summoning an armor stand called switch. I've left all those in there, so these are for the random fly. Under the traps, I've left the blocks in there to spawn the armor stands if you guys need that. But you could actually, once you've spawned them, you could get rid of these blocks. Same for the lobby. There's an armor stand under here as well, so you can spawn that one again if you need to. So, first thing we do is there is several scoreboard objectives, which I'll show you now. Scoreboard objectives list. Okay, so here we've got several scoreboard objectives. Ignore some of them because they're for other projects, but we've got Birdhunt, we've got pull, time, kill and shot. So all of them are dummy scoreboard objectives apart from shot, which is paired up with the stat use item Minecraft snowball. So when you throw a snowball, it ups the score of shot by 1. I'll put all the commands in the description and stuff so you can see that. So to get the nice display that you saw on the right hand side when we was playing the game, I have to use fake players in the Birdhunt scoreboard. So to do that, we then link from the other scores into the Birdhunt scoreboard. So I've done that using scoreboard players operation, birds released, Birdhunt. So the fake player birds released in the Birdhunt objective needs to equal the nearest player with a pull score minimum of 1, maximum of 20, their pull score. So a pull score means that when they release a bird, their pull score goes up by 1, and that's how we know that somebody's in the game as well. Second one is the same again, but this time we're going to have a fake player in the Birdhunt objective called shots fired, and that needs to equal the nearest player with a pull score minimum of 1, maximum of 20 shot. So that's the shot objective. And finally, scoreboard players operation, fake player called kills, Birdhunt objective needs to equal the nearest player with a pull score minimum of 1, maximum of 20, the kill objective. So that makes that nice pretty scoreboard display on the right hand side, so all those 3 stats are in one scoreboard, which looks quite cool. You'll notice that the start of this chain is needing redstone, and it's not got redstone at the moment. So when the game starts, it actually uses this switch to set a redstone block here, which then, while the game's ongoing, does this whole chain but while the game's finished, that then removes, and that's just to stop lag if nobody's playing the game. So next one is we've got a clock ongoing to do the random fly. What I'll do actually, I'll put a redstone block down here so you can see how this works. So I've started this chain, and you'll notice that that redstone block is just spawning at any random fly, which is causing the bird to fly in. If a bird spawns above, it will fly in all those different directions, so it will just go in any random direction, which makes the game pretty cool. So all of these have got a slightly different TP direction, so that's what we're using to make the bird look like it's flying. So we're TPing the entity name of duck, because I've called the bird duck for some reason. I don't know why now, because it's just a bird hunt, not duck hunt. And I'm just TPing it 0.2, 0.3, just so it's always flying upwards, but the direction can vary. If I just go into another one of these, that's going -2 on the x-axis, but it's still flying up at 0.3. So they're all random movements, and then this clock causes that to go through all those different random movements. So it just makes the birds look quite realistic in the way that they fly. So I'll just take that off for now. We'll stop that. So to do the clock for that, we scoreboard players add the entity, the armor stand called shooter. We're going to add 1 to its time score, and then after that, you can see on the signs there, we're going to reset the time clock when that gets to 30 ticks. So scoreboard players set entity name of shooter with a time minimum score of 30. It's going to go back to 0. So every time that it goes to 30, back to 0, 30 again, back to 0, and that just keeps doing that. Then we've got a conditional block here. So when this successfully triggers, so when that resets back to 0, it will trigger this block, which will fill the random fly with air to reset it. So execute to the armor stand with a name of random fly. We're going to fill a 3x3 block area with air. So what that does is, no matter where this redstone block is under here, it will just remove it all and make it air, and that's in preparation for the next step. So when that happens, the next step is to set a redstone block to a random fly armor stand, which will then just randomly cause the chicken to fly in different directions. So to do that, we use the execute command again, execute to a random entity of armor stand type called random fly. Then we're going to use the set block if that happens to set a redstone block in that position. So then the next one is not conditional, so that's just running all the time on a clock. So this is the one that makes snowballs kill the birds, because I didn't know this, but snowballs don't actually kill chickens, which was a bit unfortunate for us because that's what we needed it to do. So we used another execute command, so we execute to an entity type snowball, and then we tell that to do the effect command to an entity called duck within a radius of 1, and I think this is the 7 is instant damage, which will then kill the chicken. So if a snowball goes within a 1 block radius of a chicken with a name of duck, it will give it instant damage and kill it. So, and I guess a bit like a shotgun, you don't have to be an amazing aim because a shotgun spreads out. So it only has to go within a 1 block radius to kill the chicken. So if that happens, because this next block's conditional, it will execute to the armor stand name of shooter, which will then do scoreboard players add to the nearest player of the shooter position within a radius of 5. It's going to add 1 to their kill score. So that you threw a snowball, it's killed the chicken and it's added 1 to your kill score. If that happens, and this block's conditional as well, so if the last block is successful, we're then going to announce, we're going to use tell raw to announce that we've hit something. So execute to the armor stand name of shooter, and then we're going to tell everybody within a 20 block radius that that person has hit. Let's have a look. Next block is we're going to TP the player back to the lobby at the end of the game. So when the player's got a pull score of 21, that means that they've done 20 birds and they're trying to pull a 21st bird. So when you try and pull a 21st bird, it knows that the game's over. So we're going to execute to the entity with the name of shooter, and with that I'm going to TP the nearest player from the shooter position within a radius of 5, which means they're in the game, and with a pull score minimum of 21. We're then going to TP them to the armor stand called lobby, which then TPs the player out of the game into the lobby once the game's finished. The next one we're going to do, so when the game's finished, we're going to announce the score. So we're going to execute to the armor stand name of lobby, which is in the armor stand in the lobby. Then we're going to tell raw to all players on the server or in the game that, you know, the Birdhunt game. Then we're going to use the selector in the tell raw to say who the nearest player is to the lobby armor stand. So that's the person who's just finished the game. So it's going to say, like for me it was 7 Sigma, finish the round with, and then the scoreboard objective of kill of the nearest player, which is going to be me again, and it's going to tell how many kills I got. And that's that one. Then after that we're going to turn off this whole chain here because we don't need it anymore. So when the game's finished, we're going to turn off this chain. So we're going to execute to the nearest player with a pull score of 21, which means it to any player on the server that's finished a game. That's how we know the game's finished. We're going to then execute, if that condition is okay, we're going to then execute to the armor stand name of switch, which is then going to set a block 3 blocks below that armor stand of air. So what's that going to, that's going to actually, so if we've got that there in game, which is causing this to work, once the game's over, 3 blocks below here, 1, 2, 3, it's going to set that to air, which is going to turn off this mechanism to stop any lag if the game's not happening. Then next one we're going to do is, this isn't conditional, so we're going to display the sidebar while the game is on. That's quite important. So execute to the nearest player with a pull score of 1, minimum of 1 and maximum of 1, which means 1. So we know that the player's started the game, he's pulled the, or he's summoned the first bird. And then we're going to do scoreboard objectives, set display, sidebar, Birdhunt. So that's going to put that nice sidebar display on while the game's going. Then what we do is we remove the display when the game is finished. So exactly the same command, but just set display sidebar. But this time we're going to do it when it detects a player who's finished the game. So a pull score of 21. So the game's finished. I'm going to remove that sidebar display. Then after all that's done, we're going to reset the pull score for a player when the game is over. I'm just going to add a little bit of lag there. So scoreboard players set, all players with a pull score minimum of 21, we're going to reset it back to 0. Next thing we need to do is if somebody tries to join a game while you're in a game, we need to stop that happening. Here we go. So execute to the nearest player with a pull score of 1, which means if that happens, if that can happen, we know that there's a game ongoing because they've pulled at least one or released at least one bird. So then that happens, we're going to execute to the armor stand name of lobby. So from the lobby, it's then going to do a tell raw command to say there's a game ongoing. So all players within a radius of 4 of that lobby, Birdhunt, there's another game ongoing, blah blah blah. Please come back later. Then this is a conditional block, so if that tell roar is successful, this conditional block will TP the player away from the lobby so that they physically can't go and press the start button. Here we've got execute to the lobby entity, the lobby armor stand, and then TP all players within a radius of 5 up 10 blocks, which will take them back to ground level, so they won't be able to get in the lobby if there's a game on. And then lastly, the fun part is making the shotgun noise when you throw a snowball. So this isn't conditional, this is always on a clock. Here we've got execute to an entity name, entity type snowball, so any snowball that's flying in the air. Then we will execute to the nearest player, radius of 2. So if there's a snowball in the air within 2 blocks of a player, it's going to execute to that player, and that player is going to do the play sound command. So play sound Minecraft entity Ender Dragon Fireball Explode, which really luckily sounds exactly like a shotgun, which is awesome. Voice at P. So when you fire a snowball, it's going to sound like you're firing a shotgun, which is cool. The only other thing I have to show you is what's happening in the actual shooting range. Okay guys, so let's see what happens when you actually release the bird, because there's some commands under here that happen. I'll just show you those, and that's the last part of this. Ignore that one because that's just the summon armor stand for the trap. I've just left those in there in case they get killed or deleted or anything, so they can be put back. So if we have a look at the commands here, so you press the button, first thing we're going to do is any entities with the name of duck, which is what I've called the chicken, strangely. I don't know why I did that, but hey. It's going to TP them down 1,000 blocks into the void and get rid of them. So if there's any birds lingering around, we want to get those out of the way before we release another one, just to help with lag and things like that. Next command that runs is we're going to execute to the armor stand called shooter, and then from there we're going to execute to the nearest player within a radius of 5, so the player that's standing within the game area with a pull score maximum of 20. So it will only release a bird if your pull score is no more than 20. And then if that condition is met, it's going to execute a command to a random armor stand called trap, which is all the way around the outside. And then we're going to summon a chicken called duck, and with no motion and all sorts of different tags in here that some of them aren't actually needed. We was just doing a bit of testing before, but it's silent, it has got AI, it's persistent, and it's going to summon that. So that summons the duck or the bird. And then a conditional block, so if a bird is summoned, what we're then going to do is add 1 to the pull score of the player. So execute to the shooter armor stand, scoreboard, players add, to the nearest player within a radius of 5, we're going to add 1 to the pull score. And then finally, what we're going to do is, because what we found was there was a lot of dead chickens and feathers hanging around once you played for a while, so every time you summon a bird, it's actually going to kill any items lying around on the floor within a 30 block radius. Again, just to try and tackle things like lag. And this chain of blocks is under every button, it's exactly the same as you can see. And that is it guys, so it's a fun game, put it in your world, have a bit of fun with your friends, and just tell us what else you want to see in Minecraft. We love making mini games and stuff like this, so anything with command blocks that you want to make in Minecraft, please leave a comment, challenge us to make something really awesome and we'll do it. But please like and subscribe the video, tell your friends about this, and that's it guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.